Hey, welcome to EDTalks. We have another author with us, Daigrepont. Jeffrey, welcome to EDTalks.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. Honor and privilege.
So I'm actually in a bookstore. First time I'm doing EDTalks.
Nice. It's like a children's bookstore.
In a bookstore, yeah. And a cafe. So maybe not the optimal for recording, but it's a cool vibe for sure. So, Jeffrey, I love books. You have written several before, but tell everyone a little bit about yourself. Who are you? And maybe a couple of the other books before we jump into the one we really want to talk about.
Yeah, no, happy. Jeffrey Daigrepont. I've been with the Coker Group 25 years now. Before that, I was with U.S. Oncology, so I've always just enjoyed helping providers and helping health systems serve their communities. I find that very rewarding and very gratifying. And I was very fortunate when I joined Coker that there were two books that was being written that no one wanted to finish, and I had the opportunity to finish both. And they were with the American Medical Association, so I was very, I think, lucky to just come into something at that particular time, and then since went on to write about six more other books, including two for hymns. So I'm very proud of that work, and always enjoy publishing and providing content for others to learn from.
That's great, but perhaps your best work now is a women's guide to navigating a successful career in healthcare information technology. So it's an awesome book. I had an opportunity to get involved a little earlier. What I love about it is it's super informative. So there's some historical context, and then it's really practical. If I even want, yeah, there it is. Usually I have a copy with me, but I'm at this other bookstore. Super practical. And yeah, it's like covers sort of the history, like some of the former sort of historic women who have led HIT and some more of the contemporary ones. And then it's full of writing from everyone in between. And it's super inspirational. I love it. So let me ask you this. Why did you write the book?
You know, Ed, one of the things, if you don't mind, indulge me for a second, I always have to address the elephant in the room before I talk about the book, which is what could possibly qualify a man to write on the topic that I have never experienced or will ever experience the issues that face women in healthcare IT. And how I got the inspiration for the book was when my own daughter was me looking for career advice in healthcare IT. And I found myself, I don't know if you have kids, I think you do, feeling proud, but then also that dad, a very unsettling feeling came. How do I give her the proper guidance? And the worst emotion was a feeling of guilt that did I do enough? Have I done enough? And so I did what any well-connected dad would do is I went looking in my network for very smart, successful women in healthcare IT, and I was absolutely amazed and blown away with the advice that they were giving me. And I just made the comment to a publisher that, it's unfortunate that not every kid is going to have a well-connected dad. And I really wish there was a way to capture these stories and share them with any young women that's wanting to enter the field, because I do worry that healthcare IT is very, very intimidating, even if you have good mentors. Just learning our vocabulary and our nomenclatures and navigating all the challenges. And so I wanted to really, the book isn't about me or my kid. It was really about capturing inspiring stories. And we set out to capture 50, and we achieved the goal. And a big part of that was people like yourself and other male allies that contribute, lots of mentors that I feel like I've learned way more from this project than what anybody would get from this book. So that's how I got here, is because I had no clue, and I wanted to learn and wanted to help my kid. That's how I got here.
No, I love it. And yeah, I have a daughter who works in healthcare for 15, close to 15 years. Of course, my wife as well. And my wife was actually in HIT for a little while when she headed up a big Epic implementation at her particular hospital. So tell us how you crafted that book. So you mentioned you had 50 other sort of co-authors or contributors. How did you how did you do that? And how is the book? So if someone got the book, would they see those 50 people in there?
Yeah. So the first when I wasn't really expecting it to go where I pitched it to him initially, and I kind of felt like the dog that caught the fire truck. I was like, all right, they accepted the proposal. Now what? And I went back to the publisher, and they connected me with a mutual friend, Sherry Duvall, that youth I think co-authored with. And Sherry was the very first, ended up becoming my mentor. And I went to Sherry frequently for guidance, and she explained to me how to go about engaging. One of the challenges that I ran into early on was, despite the enthusiasm for the book, it was very difficult to get access. And so we had to be very sensitive to making the time, putting the effort in to make getting to successful women was a little bit more challenging than I originally thought. And so we put together an interview guide that was self-paced, and it allowed for them to respond at their own time, most of which was probably in the evening after working a full day and whatnot. But we used a lot of technology to capture the stories, and each contributor is not only fully recognized in the book, but we have about five other female authors that have written on topics of negotiating employment agreements, negotiating salary, how to deal with challenging situations in the workplace. We also recognize innovators in history and whatnot. So lots of contributors, but yeah, we took it took almost a year to get through all the interviews, but it was definitely worth it and extremely rewarding. In fact, we're presenting in a few weeks at the Source Conference, where we're going to be recognizing and identifying those contributors that have made the book so special.
Fix that. So I'm going to count myself back in. 3, 2, 1. So as I mentioned, I'll drop in the show notes how to get the book. What's been the early feedback, Jeffrey?
Extremely positive. I would say that the thing that's been most inspiring is that it's already being identified as a must read for companies. We're hoping to get it picked up. I'm pleasantly surprised. I didn't think I would get the reaction from other men in our industry, and I think something that I learned from you, Ed, and watching you over my career, was how you've always embraced diversity, and I think leading by example. One of the icons in our industry that definitely, you know, talks the talk and walks the walk. So I appreciate your leadership in this, and the forward that actually the review that you wrote on the back is one of my favorite parts. It truly brings it home, and that was one of the goals of the book. That I wanted to also reach men as well, and demonstrate how diversity can in fact make a difference, and it really does.
Yeah, highly recommended. That's why I wanted you on our show. Everyone, not just females, but males, everyone in the whole ecosystem there should read it. Super informative, super inspirational. And thank you, Jeffrey, for being our guest.
Of course, thank you. As always, pleasure.
That wraps up another edition of EDTalks. Thanks for watching.